Swahili, so jumbo everybody. Good morning, my name is Sean. I'll be your safari driver for the next 2 weeks to the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now, if you take a look right above your heads, you're going to see that animal spotting guide. That's going to help you identify some of the animals that we're going to see out here today. Now, we may not get a chance to see quite all of them, but we usually have pretty good luck. Now, the reserve was established all the way back in 1971 to help protect some of the local wildlife. Now, the good news is, over the years, they've become more accustomed to seeing our trucks, seeing people, and getting their pictures taken. Makes it great for photo safaris like this one. So if you are going to be taking photos or videos, that's perfect. Just hold on tight to those cameras. The warden does not allow us to stop and pick up anything that might fall out of the vehicle, regardless of its retail or sentimental value. So if you like it, hold on to it. And if we're using a digital camera, have the option to switch it over to a sports or an action mode. May want to take care of that. It does get pretty bumpy out here in the reserve. We're not always able to stop for all the animals. And the ones that we do stop for, it's just going to be for a few seconds. And just because we stop doesn't mean that they will. Alright, we got the final all clear from the warden, so here we go. Now hold on, remain seated, and let's go have some fun. Gonna begin our journey today here, starting in the Little Ituri Forest. Now we want to keep our eyes out for the animals that live in here, because they do like to use their natural colorings and markings as a type of camouflage. And that's to help protect themselves against potential predators. Be sure to look right, left, front, back. They could be anywhere at any time. Coming up on this watering hole here on the left. See what rare species we can find there. Maybe like a black rhino. Unfortunately, black rhino are very endangered. There are less than 5,000 of them left in the whole world, being poached at a rate of about 2 a day. Now, they're being poached for their horns, which are made out of keratin. Keratin is the same material that our fingernails and our hair are made out of. Coming up here on the left-hand side, laying down next to the mud wall there, is a black rhino. This guy weighs about 3,000 pounds. He is solid. He can still charge at 35 miles an hour. Coming up straight ahead, tall black and white bird there. That'll be on our left side. That's a saddle-billed stork. They are the tallest stork in Africa, standing at 5 feet tall, with a wingspan of 8 to 9 feet. Up there on the hill on the left-hand side, bongo, also called the ghost of the forest, because they are very rarely ever seen. Now, bongo have horns that lean backwards, helps them to navigate through the tangled underbrush. Now we're going to head on down to the Safi River, see if maybe we can find some hippos. Now, a baby hippo, when it's born, only weighs about 85 pounds. That's not bad. But a full-grown male hippo can tip the scale at 5,500 pounds. That is quite the growth spurt. Now, usually they will keep themselves submerged underwater during the day so they don't overheat. They also hold their breath for up to 8 minutes at a time underwater. We didn't see any over there on the right. No worries, there's usually some coming up here on the left, and there they are. Right over here on the left side of the river, we're looking at a bloat of hippos. That's what you call a group of them, is a bloat. Now, hippos are excellent swimmers. They do prefer to walk along the bottom of the riverbed if they can reach, so keep your eyes out underneath the water as well. The word hippopotamus is Greek for river horse. They are more closely related, though, to the whale for the echolocation feature, cow, and the pig for the even toes. Now, they will come out at nighttime, feed on about 150 pounds of grass every night. Birds over here on the island on the left, that's a pod of pink-back pelicans. They get their name from their coloration during mating season. As we head around this corner here, just want to remind everyone, for your safety and the safety of those around you, please continue to remain fully seated at all times. No standing up and no lifting the kids up for a better view. We're getting ready to go over this old rickety bridge right over some Nile, crocodile, down there on the left-hand side. And yes, those are real. Now, if we happen to see any with their mouths open, they're not trying to look scary, just letting out some excess body heat. And that's how they regulate their temperature, since they are cold-blooded. Get to be about as long as a giraffe, is tall, around 18 to 20 feet. And they can take down prey much bigger than themselves. They've got over 2,000 pounds of bone-crushing pressure per square inch of those jaws. And they always look hungry to me. I say, let's get out of here.
Oh. 那个要多久？
All right, now we're going to head on over to a completely different ecosystem with completely different animals. Speaking of different, coming up there on the right, see a baobab tree, also called an upside-down tree. They're able to survive long periods of drought by going leafless up to 9 months out of the year and storing massive amounts of water in their huge trunks. That's one of my favorite views of the whole reserve. This is the Serengeti grasslands. Stretches for hundreds of miles across East Africa. Now this is the wild Africa we're all trying so hard to conserve. See some giraffe up ahead. We'll get a closer look at them in just a few moments. Now, there are actually two types of giraffe here on the reserve. There is Maasai, which have these smaller, rough, lacy edges to the pattern of their coats. And there's also reticulated. They have the larger spots. It comes from the Latin word reticulato, which means net, and describes the net-like shape of the pattern on their coats. Well, this landscape is actually helped maintained by the animals that live here, and working together, they act as nature's gardeners. Elephants like to push down the trees to eat them, and that lets the grasses spread. And giraffes, they're so tall they're like pruning shears, eating the undersides of the trees. That lets in more light. Now, the zebras and the antelope, they mow down the grasses, and that lets new shoots grow for little nibblers like warthog and gazelle who trim up the edges. So in a balanced natural system, there's enough food for everybody. Now, when everyone's got enough to eat, they're not fighting over the same food source, and they get along better. Tall cones of earth coming up there on the right and the left are termite mounds. They are hard as concrete. A giraffe and elephant like to use them as scratching posts. After they wear them down, antelope and even meerkat can use them as a lookout, looking out for predators that might be trying to hide in the tall grasses. Over there on the left is a springbok. That little guy there only weighs about 100 pounds fully grown. Get their name from their ability to spring 10 to 11.5 feet in the air repeatedly when they are frightened. Reticulated giraffe coming up here on the right, where they have the larger spots. A giraffe are the tallest animals in the world. Even when they are born, they can look a grown man in the eye at 6 feet tall. Spend about 80% of their day eating and require very little sleep. Yeah, pretty much if they're awake, they can be found eating. Coming up further ahead on the right, you got Tower of Giraffe. That's what you call a group of them. It's a tower underneath the palm trees. Over there on the right. Also underneath the palm trees there on the right with those really long horns. Those are Ancole cattle, also called Watusi cattle, after the Watusi tribe that domesticated them many centuries ago. Those spectacular horns get to be about 6 feet in length and about 20 inches in circumference at the base. Both male and female have the horns.
Yeah.
Further up there on the hill on the right, see some sable antelope. Sable antelope are the official emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Ones with the dark brown coats are males, reddish brown coats either young males or females.
Yeah, I see.
And we're going to head on over here to Monkey Point. That's what we call this area up here on the left, just after the big rock, for the troop of mandrill monkeys that have colonized over there. After that, we'll head on down to Elephant Country. Up there on the rock on the left-hand side, mandrill monkeys. You see some more down there in the ground or in the trees. Now, mandrills are the largest monkey in Africa. Males weigh about 100 pounds, females just about 30. Like to groom each other to help strengthen their social bonds. And we happen to see a really big one with the brightest blue and red on his face and his hindquarters. That is the alpha male. Likes to let everyone know who's in charge. If anyone saw the movie The Lion King, you remember Rafiki. Now Rafiki is a cross between a mandrill monkey and a baboon. Looks like this road is closed. So we usually head into Elephant Country. There's an elephant way back there in the right corner. Let's see if we can find a detour up ahead. And we can see some more of that elephant or some of his friends. Wow, looks like we've got a bridge. That looks pretty safe. Alright, well, just to be sure, we'll go poly-poly. Means very slowly. Should be okay. Look at that. Does not sound good. Oh, hang on. Lean right. Lean left. We're almost there. We got this. Tricky bridge. Whew, we made it. Good job, everybody. You held it together. Head on down through these red clay pits. No elephants like to eat the clay. Has a lot of beneficial minerals. See some tusk marks over there. That's a good sign. Hopefully we can find some elephants up ahead. Further up there on the left. Oh, there's one right over here. Now the elephants are facing a couple of different challenges these days. They are still being poached for their ivory tusks, and now they're also facing human encroachment into their habitats, as we're mining for a mineral ore called coltan that's found in our cell phones and our laptops. Now we can do our part to help out the elephants just by doing something as simple as recycling our old phones and electronic devices. Sounds like we're starting to pick up a Harambe radio station. See if we can tune in that frequency. Looks like I heard a female in their young coming up there on the left. Now, female are definitely the more social of the species, and they bear the sole responsibility of raising the young. Now, a little word of advice. You don't want to get in between a mother elephant and her baby. They are very protective. Now, you might be too if you carried them around for 22 months and gave birth to a 300-pound child.
Yeah, baby elephant.
For the sable antelope there on the right.
Yeah.
We're at this watering hole here on our left, see a flamboyance of greater flamingo. Now, greater flamingo are the lightest in color of all the flamingos. In fact, when they hatch, their feathers are gray. What turns them pink is their diet of brine shrimp and other crustaceans that are high in beta-carotene. Keeping my eye out for some white rhino. They could be here anywhere. They do roam free here on the reserve. Now, unfortunately, white rhino are back on the threatened status. They too are being poached for their horns, just like their cousin, the black rhino. Now, those poachers are very well financed, even able to get onto private reserves. There's some way in the back over there on the right. Hopefully we can get a closer look at them a little bit further up ahead. Now, there are some parts of the world that believe the rhino horn has a medicinal value. However, it does not. It's just made out of hair and fingernails. But unfortunately, it's worth a lot of money on the black market. Coming up ahead here on our left side, see a cheetah laying down by a tree there on the hill. Now, cheetah are the fastest land animal. When they're in hunting mode, they sprint at 60 miles per hour. Only keeping up that pace for a few hundred yards at a stretch. That's usually all they need to catch their prey. Now, cheetah are daytime hunters and rely on their excellent eyesight as opposed to a sense of smell, like some other big cats. They've also got non-retractable claws, making them very effective hunters. They are always ready to go. Kobe Rock Formation up ahead. We get jumped out into the savannah, makes a great vantage point for lions looking out for prey. Now, lions are nocturnal, so they are usually inactive about 18 to 20 hours during the day, saving up most of their energy for that nighttime hunt. Coming up straight ahead over there on their right side, ostrich and bontebok. Little brown and white antelopes are bontebok, relatives of the wildebeest, nearly poached into extinction for their coats. Ostrich, of course, the largest flightless birds who can still run at 40 miles an hour. Some zebra over there on the right, as well as a better look at that crash of white rhino. That's what you call a group of them, is a crash. And as it warms up, lions try to find some shade, so they might be sleeping in between the rocks. Not always easy to see. All right, let's see what else we can find. Coming up here on the left-hand side, laying down by that tree in the middle, there's the warthog, the largest burrowing mammal. And they will dig out these burrows, then back into them, leaving their razor-sharp tusks exposed. Help protect themselves. Tasty, hungry predators. I'm going to stop by for dinner. Down there in the ground, the the left-hand side, largest bird egg from the largest bird. Those are ostrich eggs, weigh about 3 pounds each. Another look at the crash of white rhino back there on the right, as well as those zebras. Now, zebras we know are black with white stripes because their noses are black. Like our fingerprints, no two zebra patterns are exactly alike. And the main differences between the white rhinos and the black rhinos is the shape of their mouth and their size. In fact, their name has nothing to do with the color. It comes from the Afrikaans word white, which means wide, describing the broad square shape of their mouth. Translated over to English, though, we thought they said white, and the name just stuck. Now, by contrast, black rhinos have more of a triangular shaped mouth. But the white rhinos get to be up to 5,000 pounds, up to 2,000 pounds bigger than the black rhinos. I'm going to head on in here to Magani Glen, see what else we can find. See some addax. Addax are a desert antelope. Now, because of that, they can go almost their entire lives without drinking a single drop of water. Yeah, they get all the moisture that they need from the vegetation that they eat. And there's only around 300 addax or so left out in the wild. Unfortunately, poachers do like the shape of those spiral horns. Also coming up here on the right, these are yellow-billed storks. Carnivorous birds that will eat frogs, snakes, small mammals, and even other small birds. Whatever they can get those yellow bills on. I don't think they're too picky. Now the addax's coat actually gets lighter in the summer and darker in the winter. Helps to aid them with thermoregulation. That comes in handy when you're a desert antelope. Now, of course, living among the wildlife does not come without its challenges. Those living near the reserve always looking to protect their lives and their livestock. Conservation organizations are aware of that and doing what they can to help benefit and meet the needs of both the humans and the animals. And that way, everybody wins. Now, it stands to reason the more we know about these endangered creatures, the more we can do to help protect them. Looks like we are coming to the end of our 2-week safari, so I'm going to drop you off at the nearest warden's post. I hope everyone had a good time. There was some good pictures out there. And if we happen to have any wilderness explorers on board, you've been riding on Simba 1. Now, your safari adventure does not end here. It continues on to the Pangani Forest Exploration Trail. Just head up the path and to the right for a self-guided walking tour through Pangani, where you can see gorillas, colobus, monkeys, meerkat, naked mole rats. Get a better look at the hippo as well. Now, just about 2 weeks ago, there was a baby gorilla and baby meerkats born there, so you definitely want to go check that out. When you're done, if you like, you can take the Wildlife Express train over to Rafiki's Planet Watch. That's where they've got the affection section, the only place in the park where you can pet some domesticated animals. Now here in Harambe, we don't like to say goodbye to our new friends. It just feels too sad, too final. Instead, we prefer to use a Swahili phrase, and that is Kwaherini. Means to go well. So Kwaherini, everyone. And Asante Sana, thank you so much for joining me here today. It's been my pleasure taking you around the reserve. Jumbo, Warden. Hold it.